The Fillmore Central Falcons are getting ready for sectional play. They ended the regular season with a 39-8 win over Kenyon Wanamingo last week. Head coach Chris Mensink joining us. And Chris, the first thing that stood out for me from that game is something you don't see every day. Greg Kennedy, two pick sixes in the same game. A lot of people are lucky to get two pick sixes in a career, much less one night of football. And Greg was able to do that. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I tell you, Greg had he had a unique night. Actually, we received the opening kickoff, and Greg took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. And then our first offensive series, the first play, Greg caught a touchdown on offense, and then, like you say, he had the two pick sixes. Such a unique athlete. He's got a unique combination of, size, length, speed, instincts. Just a great has great ball sense. And I don't know. People think they get the angles on him, and he just turns it to another gear. So pretty outstanding performance and evening for that young man. Having four touchdowns in an evening, and I think all of them were over 80 yards as well. So he put on a few steps that night. So very proud of his effort and our teams as well.
And a night where you can only run 34 plays but score 39 points, that's obviously meaning you're scoring in a variety of ways. Kind of a unique statistics when you can average more than a point per play offensively ran, right?
That is. And like you said, we executed in almost all the phases. We got scores on defense, got them in special teams, and got them on offense as well. So yeah, you want to be playing your best in all phases at this time of year. So that's definitely a good sign for us.
How much have you grown as a football team since you started in August?
I think we've grown a lot. The kids have become a lot closer, and they understand what everybody's strengths are and their weaknesses, maybe, and how to work together. I think the cohesiveness of this group reminds me a lot of our 2022 team. These kids just get along. They spend a lot of time together outside of football. They spend a lot of time on their computers and together watching film. And they just enjoy each other's company. So that's a great sign as you look at your football team from you stand on the outside looking in too. That's a great thing to see.
How does that happen? Because it just doesn't happen. What allows that to happen to create that cohesiveness?
Well, I think it's a culture thing. I think you get what you stress, and I think we do stress that, and we stress how to treat people and how to behave and things like that. And I think our kids actually they enjoy coming to practice. Kids want discipline, they want rules, they want those things, and they thrive when they understand it. And the communication has been great. I have a great staff around me that really does a good job of driving those things home and building relationships with kids. So first and foremost, I think that's the biggest thing is the culture and bringing those kids together. And we enjoy each other's company. We listen to them, they listen to us. It's got to be a two-way street nowadays. Kids want to know the why behind why you're doing things. They want to know why we doing it this way, or if they have a suggestion. I always tell them, if you have a suggestion, I'm open to listen to it. Doesn't mean I might take it all the time, but I love to hear those suggestions because maybe there is a better way to do things or a better way to block this, or maybe we want to tack something a little different. So I think our coaches embrace that as well, and that's the culture that this program provides.
When kids ask you the why and ask for those explanations, how does that allow you as a coaching staff to become better?
I think it allows you to reflect on why are we doing it this way, and maybe we haven't thought it all the way through. Maybe we have, or maybe we've discussed this in depth, and we can provide that answer to the kids. We do it this way because we've either tried it this way, or we've thought about this way, and it just didn't work quite as well when we did it that way, or maybe that is a good idea. I've never thought about it that way. So I think. I think that's a big piece of talking those things through, and through those conversations, you build trust with your staff, you build trust with your kids trust you, you trust them, because at the end of the day, we are all trying our best, and we all want the best for each other in the program, and everybody wants to win. Nobody's out there trying to make mistakes. So
And you're heading into the sectional tournament, and the way the seeds came out, you guys ended up as the number 3 seed. If a 7-1 team ends up as the number 3 seed, you play some pretty good football in your section, don't you?
we do, yeah. Section one's always tough, and anybody can beat anybody every night. So yeah, the first season is done. That we always tell our kids, this is what we've earned to this point. throw all that out, throw it all aside because now you're playing for tomorrow. So we got to prepare for Hayfield. We haven't seen them since before school started on August 30th. So their team, the first time we saw them, their starting quarterback wasn't playing. He was on crutches when he got off the bus. So it's a different team than we saw back then. So we're gonna have to execute to get by round one for sure.
You mentioned Hayfield being a different team. In what ways are you guys a different team?
Well, I think we've definitely grown. Experience is the best teacher. We've got a lot of younger kids. Like I said, we start three sophomores on offense, and they've gotten a lot of experience and they've gotten better. And even some of our seniors that maybe didn't get as much time last year and juniors that are getting more and more, we've tried to throughout the year rotate kids in there and give everybody valuable experience in game situations because that's, like I said, experience is the greatest teacher. Some kids learn by doing, some by, seeing it, and some by talking about it. So we want to touch all those senses and give all our kids opportunities to be successful here at the end of the year.
You mentioned Hayfield with a new starting quarterback than when you saw them in week number one. That being said, is there anything you can take from that week one matchup against the Vikings, or is it a case of this is kind of a new football team we're facing here Tuesday night?
Yeah, I think scheme wise, they do a lot of the similar things they were doing earlier in the year. They're getting better at it. The interior of their line is very solid. They're very strong. But I think this quarterback maybe throws the ball just a little bit better. But that also takes that other quarterback out of a position and puts him in another position too. So, in small school football, moving one or two kids around to different spots can change the makeup of your football team. So I think, yeah, scheme wise, I think they're going to try to do a lot of similar things, but they're going to be better at it for sure.
All right, Coach. Hopefully you can get by week number one and keep your kids healthy. We wish best of luck, and let's have another conversation this week.
That sounds great. Thanks, Darren.
Chris Mensink, head coach of the Fillmore Central Falcons. It's Fillmore Central and Hayfield Tuesday night in the sectional first round.